All right, so early signing period came and went. Big news was Jace McClellan not signing with this class after being a 2-year commit, ends up at Alabama. But let's focus on some positives. Pick up number 1, number 2 defensive tackles in the junior college ranks. Picked up a junior college DB in the, I think, number 6 overall.
Number 1 safety.
Yeah, number
one safety. Yeah.
Right, and Seth McGowan, I think, is Saquon Barkley-like. I think more people understand
I think he's
that.
Rodney Anderson, but yeah.
Well, I'm saying Saquon Barkley because of the
the
numbers.
Thighs.
Well, not just like he's
freaking trunks.
He's power cleaning 340 as a rising senior.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, like as a rising senior in college, Saquon Barkley was pulling 4 bills. Okay.
Woo.
Yeah, but Seth McGowan is like 4 years younger at the same time. He's pulling 340 off the floor and he's catching it. What? Get out of here.
That's like, you know another person that did that's playing at Oklahoma? Think about it. He was a powerlifting champion.
Oh, man. Can we not talk about Jalen Hurts in this segment?
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I just said there's another person that did it. Hey.
Because now you're telling me that he's a running back.
Hey. Kind of.
You walked into that one. I'm just saying.
I did.
You walked into that one.
I thought about it before I said anything, but I was like, this is too good to pass up. The stats getting thrown out there.
All right. But no, what's your favorite signing of this early signing period?
Justin Harrington.
Okay. All right.
I like Perrion Winfrey and Ellison, obviously.
No, just focus on Justin for just a second.
And I'll tell you why I like Justin. Length, speed, range. Makes big play after big play for the defense. He's a ball hawk. He fits exactly what Alex Grinch loves. And man, he's going to be good as long as he can pick that defense up. And as long as he comes in and works and does the things he's supposed to do on and off the field, you really got to think that he can come in and be a big-time difference maker.
Okay, I'll buy that. My favorite is Josh Ellison because of how late they were in getting to him and because I saw his tape at A&M Consolidated a couple years ago and my God, dude.
He's quick.
It's not just that he's quick, it's that he tackles like a linebacker.
Yeah.
You know, I know the stats will jump out at people. Like as a senior, he had 121 tackles and 25 for loss as a defensive tackle, which again, is bonkers, but so quick getting off. And I love what his Blaine College coach had to say about him. He said, look, people don't even run to his side. They run the ball the other way. That's why he doesn't get the stats that you would like to see him have because even in run defense, people don't want any part of him. I'm going, that's strong. Because I'm not going to dictate my run game based on where the tackle is.
No, they do.
Yeah.
Can I name another one?
Please,
that I like
please.
A lot? I'm a huge Brendan Walker fan.
Okay, all right.
And I'll unpack that for a second. The reason is, I asked Alex Grinch. And it was a simple way of asking him was
inside outside. I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, I just said he's versatile, right? I mean, and his eyes lit up, and he's like, "That's exactly how and why we love him." Because he can do so many different things for us, and he's college ready at 6'3", 240 pounds, and can move. They expect him to come in and really compete for a job, like right now. And I've been told that by multiple people. And not very many people are talking about him. They all see him as like this 3-star guy that played middle linebacker and outside linebacker for Bishop McGuinness. And he doesn't make a lot of plays because, well, again, like you said about Josh Ellison, they ran away from him all year. You line him up on one side, they go the other side. I went to several games, and I would listen to the cadence and the check, and they would see McGuinness would walk him up to his side late, and instantly the quarterback would check and go to the opposite side. And that happened time and time again. He's a difference maker. When they did try to drop back and pass, he knows how to use his hands. He's not real strong with his hands and his punch yet, but that's something that can be learned with strength and obviously technique. But he's going to be good because he's got the genetics and he's got the want to, and he's a very, very smart. He's a valedictorian. So he's smart too. So there's a lot to really like about this guy, and he's a freak athlete at 6'3", 240 pounds. The reason why he's not ranked higher, he didn't do camps. That's really the only reason.
So I enjoy that take. I think Brendan is a class kid. I also want to just, for the folks that are listening, go through the early enrollees, because you saying that they expect him to compete means that they expect a lot of him this summer because he's not one of the early enrollees. So I'm just going to run through it for people that don't know. So forgive me if you already do, but this usually helps people. So early enrollees, meaning they're joining up in January to take classes, so forth, so on, are Josh Ellison, Devin Graham, DJ Graham, Justin Harrington, Mikey Henderson, Seth McGowan, Marvin Mims, who I just wrote a feature about on OUinsider.com, outstanding kiddo, national record holder, Noah Nelson, Aaron Parks, Andrew Rame, Bryson Washington, that's a big one, Shane Witter, and Perrion Winfrey. So that's 12 of, I believe it was, they signed 20 or 22. So that's
they signed 22 right
22.
now.
So the other thing I wanted to bring to you, Brandon, about this class was, even with Michael Jones in the portal, even with Caleb Kelly not coming back, even with Kenneth Murray Jr., we're thinking might declare, and CeeDee Lamb we know is going to declare, they're still at 86 for 85.
Yeah.
Like,
and they can sign a 104-year span.
Right. So, like, what are you thinking?
I think they have two. If you've been on OUinsider.com, we were out in front of the Grimes thing long before everybody else, just because Reggie basically told us what he was doing.
Right.
And then he didn't tell me he wanted that a secret or anything ever. But then they started changing their story with people. But I can tell you all that there's a reason why OU feels very comfortable about Reggie Grimes, and they're not worried at all. I think there's another signee out there that's going to announce in the next couple of weeks. That's a big-time get for Oklahoma for a variety of reasons, and I'll leave it at that. And obviously, I think Oklahoma
is his dad an offensive coordinator?
I don't know. He could be. I don't know. I have to ask the kid.
I tried, people. I want everybody to know I tried. Guess you're going to have to go subscribe to the board.
No. Then you have Cory Wren, who I know Oklahoma feels like they have a really good shot, despite all these other offers.
I don't know, man. Arizona State feels real. Like when I go and look at that, because he knows what we know, which is that they'll ride one tailback. They'll ride one. Like Eno Benjamin was the man for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And that is not necessarily up for grabs because they got somebody they really like, but they will run the football, and he'll get a crap ton of touches. So that one I think feels real. The others that have come in late, Texas and USC among them, not so much. But like,
yeah, no, I don't buy that. I buy this is an Arizona State OU battle.
Okay.
And I think I know Oklahoma feels like they have a really good shot of getting it. And he is going to visit in January. We've already talked about that up on the board. They haven't they haven't set a date. So the way I posed it on the board was they haven't gotten to that point as far as setting a date, but it's happening. Probably around January 13th, 14th. That type of time period is when it's going to happen. I think Oklahoma sits really well with him. And the reason is because Oklahoma can say, we can use you not only at running back, but we're going to use your speed and make you more viable for the NFL and line you up in the slot and do a lot of the things that we did with Joe Mixon, that we did with Rodney Anderson, that we did with Trey Sermon, those type of things where they lined him up everywhere because they're versatile guys. Well, and that's exactly what he is.
And he has outstanding hands and outstanding speed. He's 4'3", 140 guy, guys. He's that fast. And to watch him in I love their offense down there at John Curtis because it's got that near set with the two tailbacks and 3-point stance. And he's so good at he picks the ball out of the air like a wide receiver, and I enjoy that out of a tailback. Now he's slight, right? Because he's about 5'9", $170, but if he gets ahead of steam, you're not gonna catch him. And I love that. And he's got a high step to him. He's feeling himself out there. Like he knows he's good. I enjoy that.
Then you've obviously got Collins.
Right.
Thereafter.
Alfred Collins. Right.
Yeah, Alfred Collins, 4-star defensive tackle out of Bastrop.
6'5", 275.
And if you've watched his film, oof, my goodness gracious.
All right, we got to talk about his stance, dog.
It's weird.
It's not. It's bad. It's a teepee. And yet,
it's weird.
But
he still flies off the ball.
Right, I was going to say, like, that's the thing. Like, if he gets it fixed, he's a monster. Because he's basically standing up. Like, he's got his hand on the ground, but he's basically standing up.
He's an animal, man. Oh, my goodness. If Oklahoma, think about, I want people to wrap their head around this for a second. If they are to get him, and we haven't even talked about Noah Renze, who I've seen in person, and he is, I guess, the all-time sack guy at Webster Grove. Mm-hmm. And he only played 2 years.
Also 6'5", 240.
And he's going to weigh about 280 when he gets done at
Yep.
Because he's so long, his frame is so. Yep. I mean, he's ridiculous. I watched him at the St. Louis opening regional against some of the best offensive linemen in the country, and he dominated them. Made it to the top 5, was so close to getting an openings finals invite. He's an animal, and he's raw. He's played football for 2.5 years.
Well, I mean, Jalen Redmond was much the same way. I think that's a good comp. Jalen Redmond was much the same way. Didn't play a lot of football, was a basketball player, and then kind of came on here, especially of late. I also wanted just to fill out the Alfred Collins bit just a little bit. He is a Texas legacy. His mom went to school there. You've been on this for years. He's also I would say Oklahoma's in a battle with Baylor at present because he essentially plays
Texas
the same position as James Lynch at Baylor. Mm-hmm. And he starred out there, and we all know what Matt Rule says he can do with developing kiddos, and he did that. He developed a bunch of kiddos. And before we get out of here, I kind of want to pivot back to the Peach Bowl for just a second because Dave Aranda said something that I think we need to give some air to. Or not Dave Aranda. Steve Insminger said something we need to give some air to, which is Kenneth Murray Jr. might be the best linebacker in the country.
I have the audio of them talking about the actual, if we want to hear it real quick, the actual him talking about how fast Oklahoma's defense is and just how good. And then I have the audio of Kenneth Murray doing the same thing, responding to what was said. Here, just a second.
And I don't put anything down against the defense we play because we play a great defense, but this might be the fastest defense we face. They can run. Their defensive line can run. Their linebackers can run. Their secondary can run. They present problems with their speed, and so it's protection first. You've got to be able to run the football against this team, which nobody has. You put up explosive runs on tape, and there's not very many of them. So it's got to be a good mixture. I think the defense coordinator does a great job of checking the check and everything else. I think you have to be a little bit faster with this defense, and as far as calling plays and getting it in and let's go, it'll be a challenge.
One of our goals this season was to have one of the fastest defenses in the country, and so I think that's something that's been presented to us by our coaches, and I think that's something that we truly try to embody. And I think when Coach Grimes first came in, he talked about straining to the ball. I think early on in the process, we found ourselves straining to the ball and not really understanding, that if we strain to the ball, it really could become a weapon and really become our identity. And I think, throughout time and, going throughout the summer and stuff like that, we truly, figured out that, straining to the ball is, something that can be a weapon for us, can be something that's positive, and it's something that, we do with a purpose. So, I think we take a lot of pride in flying around to the ball. And then when we don't fly around to the ball, it's something that we hear about from our coaches. So I think that's what keeps us accountable.
There you go.
All right. Very good. Very good. Steven doesn't really... Okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you, what's your take?
I don't think that straining to the ball is a weapon that you can use. I think straining to the ball is what you do when you play football.
Yeah, I
love K9.
that at all.
I love K9, but come on, man. I think Steve Ensminger talked about Alex Grinch being able to check out his stuff was also big. I think that's going to be a big part of what they do. You're gonna see, if they check with the line, you're gonna see them check, and then they're gonna go do what they need to do when they think something's changed. So the chess match is gonna be a lot of fun. I think hearing Steve Ensminger talk and not Joe Brady talk also tells you a lot, right? Because Joe Brady's passing game coordinator, and Steve Ensminger is actually the play caller. He's actually the offensive coordinator. So that was fun. Anything you wanted to get to before we wrap it up?
No, I thought that was an interesting back and forth between, compliments and then K9 kind of opening up to the compliment. I legitimately am starting to believe, and I've said this from the start, I think this game, and I said it last podcast, I think Oklahoma covers. I do. And I think they cover for a variety of reasons. But most importantly, I think they cover because I think they match up okay with LSU to the point where they can cause some problems defensively, and Oklahoma can cause some problems with their offense, with Jalen Hurts running the ball, with the run game, and obviously CeeDee Lamb. So I think they cover. I'm not ready to say that they're going to win or anything like that, but I just think they cover. I don't know.
I think
I may be crazy.
I think as the line keeps moving, I mean, LSU is up to a 13-point favorite in this game. Cover, I think it's fair to say they cover. About whether or not they win the game, though, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm not there yet.
So, yeah, me neither. So, that's Brandon Drum. He's on the ground in Atlanta with Joey Helmer and Colin Kennedy. All kinds of content up at OUinsider.com. The board is still popping. I'm doing more recruiting stuff during the week because the guys have this pretty much covered with what's going on at the Peach Bowl. Big story up on Marvin Mims. We'll have some stuff up on Tumise Adeleye, who's a top 2021 prospect who released his top 6. Go check that out. Brandon, final word.
I guess you better get your butt down here soon, man, because it's kind of popping. It's kind of fun, too. I mean, there's a lot to do here.
And I can't wait. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See y'all.